Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Gold is coming back strong, up $100, back to 30.81. What I like is it was sitting in the 2080s, but it never really went too low. It would go 20.75, and then it would kind of come back. And you were waiting for, okay, let's end the bullshit, let's end the margin calls, whatever they're trying to do. And now we're back, and we did not have a 10 o'clock drop. Now I'm holding my breath. We don't have a noon drop. We had an 8 o'clock drop that quickly got erased, and now we're hoping there's no noon drop. I'm on till about 11:35 today, and I might come back later with some economics. We'll look at baseball. More importantly, silver 30.52. It's still stuck in a death trap with JP Morgan doing derivatives. So there's really nothing we can do with silver. In a free market, we know it's limited. We know there's huge demand. Low supply, huge demand, price should be high, but we know it's price fixed. We know they're dumping derivatives on it. They can't let it get to 35 or they lose trillions, and that's the game. Free market doesn't enter into it. Like I was using the example last week. So Alyssa is price fixing silver, and she says, I don't care what the market says. Or maybe she's free. Let's say she's doing hamburgers, and she's saying, I don't care, it's $10. And everybody buys, or nobody buys. It doesn't affect the price because she's price fixing it. $10 for a hamburger. And that's what JP Morgan's basically doing. Silver, $33, $34. I don't care about the market. I don't care about supply demand. I don't care about anything. I'm setting the price. $32 today. It's $30.53. And she sets the price. That's what price fixing is. That's what communism, socialism is. When they set the price, they don't listen to the market because they think the central planner can figure out the market better than the market. And that's why socialism and communism never work. Everybody that wants to be a socialist or communist is just lazy. They want a handout. They don't want to work. And they want the workers to pay for them, basically is what they're saying. And a fucked up world is that. If you're sure yourself and you're stoic, you want to work hard and make money, and then you can make as much as you want and have a better life. Have freedom. The socialist communists don't want freedom. We all know what happens in socialists and communism. They all end up dead because they can't feed them. It's funny, I was just watching We Are the World on Netflix. I was bored and I was like, I'll watch this for a little bit. It's such a joke. These musicians are probably the stupidest people I've ever seen. When I'm watching it, because I'm stoic, I watch everything from a stoic point of view. So I'm watching it going, what are these people doing here? And they're not charging. And they're doing it so they can feed Africa. We have no problems in America. And so it's a socialist thing where you can feel good. You know, all the artists, I'm going to help feed people. You ain't helping feed anybody because the money you get from the record is going to the government, is never going to the people. They're never going to stop being hungry. That's just not going to happen. And that's the problem. And they all did it. And they did it for free. What a bunch of idiots. You want me, you pay for my skill. You pay for my talent. And, you know, these people have all that shows you they have all this money. They don't need to get paid for their job. Then why charge for concerts? Then they want to make money. So you're going to feed the people. Only try to feed North Korea right now. Where's that money going? It's going right to the president. Why do you think the people are starving in North Korea? Why do you think they're starving in Africa? Because the government steals all the money, and they set prices. They do price fixing. So therefore the There's no incentive for the farmers to farm, or they sell all their goods to other countries that pay for it at a market price, and the people starve because of the government. And you're not going to change that. So you could do "We Are the World" or "We're Not the World." We could be the world. We might be the world. And you could have 1,000 singers sing their one lines and waste their time. Nothing's happening. And it's just the singers are all like excited. 3082, here we go. And the singers are like, oh, I'm doing a good thing, because I rip off everybody when I sing. What is singing? It's a nothing. It's entertaining, I guess. I don't know. But some of these guys don't entertain me. So they sing, and you're like, if I met a singer, if I met Billy Joel or any of these guys, I would just walk right by them like, you're a fucking loser. What are you? You're a singer? And what does that do? Oh, you make good money because you sing songs. Really? Whippy. Let me know when you can pick football games, then we'll talk. So I just my view of these singers. Michael Jackson, I would say hello to. He's probably the only one. The rest of these guys are just a bunch of losers. I mean, they're just, seriously, you sing. This is the best you could come up with. You sing a song. Oh, okay. Good for you. What a bunch of losers. So anyway, that's that "We Are the World" thing. All right. So let's get to what's going on in gold. So to do that, let's see what's happening in Bitcoin, which isn't real. Again, you can't see it. You can't touch it. How can it be real? It's 77,700. Are you worried yet? How are you playing Bitcoin? 77,000. What did you get in at? Oh, excuse me. Of course, you got in at 2 cents. Everybody in the world gets into Bitcoin. It was at $5 I got in. And if you're stupid enough to still be holding it at 77,000 or 100,000, you have no idea what you're doing, and you certainly shouldn't be gambling. You're welcome at my casino anytime, or I'll play poker with you anytime. It's like when I was playing poker on my birthday, and I have ace something, and the guy had jack 10, and I make a bet, and he calls. Flop comes ace something jack. I bet my aces. He calls with jacks, and then he hits the 10 on the river, and I look at him and I go, oh man, I hope you play all day here. I love playing guys that are idiots. You're calling me with jacks with an ace on the board. Wow, thank you. He then moved to a 2-5 table, and I was like ready to go to the 2-5 table. I saw him kept moving tables. Anyway, so what's your plan on getting out of Bitcoin? Are you going to hold it thinking it's going to go back up to 100,000? Or do you have profit at 77,000? Do you even understand what profit is? Which I doubt. Anyway, that's the whole point of it. Excuse me. So you have to have a plan, a game plan for everything, right? Girls, money, investments, you must have a game plan. So here's my game plan with Daria. Okay, when are we meeting? Oh, there's a war on. And then last year we didn't. So this year I'm like, okay, when are we meeting? I mean, there's peace talks, but they're not ending in a week like we thought Trump would. When do we meet? Well, there's a lot going on in the world, and during the peace talks, let's let the world settle down. And I took that as, oh, you don't want to meet me. You're playing a game with me. You want money for food. You want money from me, but you don't actually want to meet me, which was the whole point of this. So I said, well, let me know when you want to meet. And it's the kill switch. Oh, I love you. I want to meet you. I want to be with you. I want you, da, 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 da. But then, it's like a girl saying, let's go out. And then you call her, okay, when are we going out? Well, I can't go out today. Maybe next week. I can't. And you never go out with her. And you lose interest, basically. You don't want to be mean to her. You just lose interest. And that's where I'm at with Daria. I'm like, well, let me know when you're ready to meet. And don't ask for any more money. Don't ask for anything else, because I only help people that are A, honest with me, and B, that really care about me, or are interested in me, whatever they call it. So I'll talk to her, but you're not getting nothing. And then we'll see. Then we'll play my game. Are you really interested or not? Pushing off this meet is kind of, don't tell me you love me and you want me, but you won't meet me. What is that? Then I got another friend in Russia who will meet me right away. Oh yeah, we can meet. What war? We just can't meet in Spain or Italy, but we can meet in Serbia or Turkey or whatever. So she's all set to meet, but I'm waiting for Daria. And again, this is where you get in trouble, waiting for one girl and not meeting other girls because you're waiting for the one girl. And I think basically in Stoic, you just got to be like, well, do you want to meet? Okay, let's meet. Let me know the time and the place. At least Jenna, we met, right? Jenna would say, I would say, let's meet. And she'd go where and when. And she'd take the train and she'd take the plane and she'd be there. She was always there. Daria, I don't know what her problem is. Even if you're playing me, you can't be stupid. If I'm helping you with rent and food, you meet the person. That's just the normal thing. But don't play games with me. Stoics don't go there. You can't play games where you can't say X but then never meet. So, okay, I won't meet you, but no more food or rent. You're on your own now. You wanna play games? I don't play games. So you get to a point where you say, okay, when you're ready to meet and you're ready to do what you say, then we'll do it. Until then, I'll be waiting. But I won't be waiting alone, and I won't put you first. Then you get to investments. As we've talked casino games, it's important to quit a winner. That's the goal. When you play football, you bet casino, you bet stocks, you bet Bitcoin, you bet gold, you quit a winner. Only an idiot thinks Bitcoin will just keep going up. Because Michael Saylor says don't sell it, it'll just keep going up. And you listen to Michael Saylor, like, who the hell is that guy? So keep that in mind. You have your own game plan. And our game plan in gold is a little different than our game plan at the casino or our game plan in Bitcoin or our game plan in stocks. So if I were to play stocks, all of a sudden Tesla's getting killed. It's down to 210. Apple's getting killed because they closed the factory in China. I showed you that video a few days ago. Factories shut down. They're all striking. All the managers are losing their titles and their money. Apple can't make their phone. Now they got to find somewhere else like Vietnam to make it. This is a problem. you go in, you almost got to think fifth dimensionally, as is what we do, right? So if I buy Apple at 100, at what point am I looking to sell it at? Well, it depends. If everything remains the same and they keep growing their sales, and now they got Apple Prime, and like how many people are going to join that? Like 5 people. They're going to show football games on Apple Prime. They're going to lose money because nobody is going to sign up for Apple Prime being a football player or better. I'm not going to, I don't run and get every freaking game on all these strange networks that I've never heard of. They should be free because they should want you to join the network. But if you got to pay to join, even if it's $5 or $10, that's work. It takes me $100 of my time to sign up for Apple and put in my credit card, and then okay, now I want to stop it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So this is what you have. So you got to be careful with that. But you always have to have a plan. Why are you buying a stock, and at what point are you going to sell it at? So if I buy a gold stock, I'm just buying the 10 o'clock, it's 10:30, boom. But today it went down at 9:30 and it's starting to go a little bit now at 10:45, which I'm not surprised. Between now and noon, it'll have its little drop, but then it's hopefully zooms back up. So I don't want to keep looking at it, but it's at 30.79. So we are in very good shape, up 100 points. Let's see what the stock's doing. The Dow is down 200 more points at 37,443. So I will ask the same question. At what point do you sell? Would the tariffs make you sell? They'd make me sell. 37. Why do I always get like 2 different numbers? 37.6. Okay, so now it's even for the day. Is that the latest update? Okay, 37.6. So it's even. All right. At what point do you sell it? At what point do you understand the economy's shrinking, or the Fed keeps printing money, putting it into Apple so I don't have to sell it? Or Tesla's down $270 a share. So usually there's something that triggers the sell. When I bought stocks, and I didn't buy a lot because they're a Ponzi scheme, if there was, you'd come out with the quarterly sales figures. Sales are up, but forecasts for next year are down, and the stock would go down. And you'd start going, this is ridiculous. And so that was usually the trigger, was when the quarterly estimates came out, the results, and there'd be something in there that, sales are up and revenue's up, but the forecast for the next 6 months are down. And it's always forward looking. So when you hear that news, you would then, even though it was good news for now, you're looking ahead the next 6 months. And it's all bullshit anyway. It's always because stocks go down because somebody wants to buy them. Stocks go up because somebody wants to sell them. That's why it's a fixed game. You don't know that. It's already gone up and somebody sold, and then you buy it 10 points higher. So I stayed away from stocks. That's clearly fixed. And so you're just sitting there watching. But if I buy a stock at 100, at what point do I want to sell it at one? And I always, of course, think they're going up. So I want to sell it at 120, 140, 160. Where do I want to sell it at? And most people have no idea. They don't know what they're doing. This girl hits me up on LinkedIn and she says, well, I buy Bitcoin because it goes up. Okay, well, what are you doing now? It's down to 75,000. I know you bought it at $5, And it was at 106,000, and it's now at 75,000. How far are you going to watch it drop? At what point do you take profit if you have profit? It did go up. Oh, Trump says it's going to be the Bitcoin capital of the world. Nobody cares. It's not real. You can't, a card I can see, I can hold, I can smell, I put it, I can display it. It's like an art piece. Bitcoin, can't see it, can't hold it, can't put it on my wall, can't put it in my safe. What is it? You're just buying freaking air. So this is the problem with Bitcoin. At what point do you sell? You have to make these determinations before you buy. And then as you go, it's sort of like, the best way to put it is like if you're playing craps and you're hitting your numbers and you're up. So you start with, let's say, $1,000. Now you're up to $2,000. You're hitting your 6s and 8s. You're doubling on your 4s and 10s. You're hitting the pass line and getting your odds. So you've been hot for a while. So you take 1,000, it's 2,000. At what point do I sell? At what point do I take my money off the table? If it's a new roll and I'm up 1,000, do I keep playing? And here's what you do is you play a little bit. So maybe you just play 6 and 8 with $100 out there. You're up 1,000. Now, oh, 7 out. Oh, 7 out. Oh, 7 out. Okay, time to leave, plus 600, plus 700. That's how you should play craps, blackjack, roulette, baccarat, even poker. Once you get up, it's very hard to get up. Once you get up, you draw a line in the sand. So if, let's say, it's blackjack, that's probably the easiest to do it with. It's just one thing. Or baccarat. And I'm up 1,000. I put 750 in my pocket. That's the worst I'm doing is winning 750. And I'll play the other 250 because I'm hot. And you start losing, and then you just, okay, I'm losing streak, I'm leaving. And okay, Bitcoin, you had your run up to 105. Okay, it started coming down. I was at the Toyota dealership, and there's a Bitcoin guy. And the Bitcoin guy shows me his wallet, and he's up 50,000. I says, well, why don't you take 25 of it and buy gold? And he was a gold guy. And the other 25 play out. And let's just see. And if you make more money, you get it back to 50. Great. If you don't, you still made the 25. I doubt he did that, but that's how I would have done it. Take your winnings. And then the worst you can do is win, but you don't win as much. But you still play. So if it still goes up, but it's always going to be winning streaks and losing streaks. It's all going to go up and down because there's people taking profits up and there's people buying when it's down because they want to get profit because it's all about profits. But most people are clueless. They don't know how to gamble. They don't know how to make money. They don't know how to win. They're not winners. Losers like to lose. Most people are losers because they can't figure out how to win because very few people can think like me. I was watching Draft Day and the 3,000 miles from Graceland guy, Cosner goes, his girlfriend goes, well, you really know how to think. Nobody can think like you. And I go, yeah, that's me. Nobody can think like me. That's why I'm not worried about AI. Like you can't, AI can't think like me. So in the process of this, that's what you're looking at is it's all gambling, Bitcoin, stocks, bonds, your money in the bank, gold, silver. Now, the difference with gold and silver than stocks go up and down because of the earnings of the company. The money gets inflated because they print too much because they got to pay Social Security. They got to pay the interest on the debt. They got to pay the military. They got to pay all the government workers and all their pensions. And so it ends up where they print money and print money and print money. So the dollar's always going to go down. The dollar is never, you bought it to make money. You use the dollar to make money gambling. You use the dollar to make money in the stock market to try to find good investments. but the dollar itself doesn't make you any money. Now, here's where gold and silver, it's something that can't be inflated. You can't print it. You can't counterfeit it. You can't put copper in gold and call it gold because you test it with the magnet. You go to the store, you can test it. Can't do that. So with that said, why aren't we taking profits in gold? Why, Howard, you said you take profits. You're in at about 1,700 at gold. It's at 3,000. It's almost 3,100 again today. Why are you not taking your profit? Because it's not done yet. Because it's not based on earnings and it's not based on anything else. It's just gold. As the dollars are being printed to death, gold can only go up. It'll be the gold backed system. We have BRICS buying all the gold, everybody but the US. So we still have huge demand for it. It's still very limited. You can't print it like the dollar. The stock market's going down because of this depression that we're in, thanks to the morons in charge. And then you got these tariffs. Well, that doesn't affect gold. Nothing affects gold because gold's gold. Gold's money. It's limited. As long as there's demand, and it's huge demand all over the world, everybody wants gold. There's no reason to sell it. You're not giving me a reason to sell it. You're giving me a reason to sell Tesla and Apple because of what's happening. Hey, Real D, how are you today? I'm on to about 11:30. I got an appointment at noon, maybe 11:35. But we'll get through baseball in a minute. I'm teaching how to bet, my favorite subject. So at what point do we sell our gold? When I don't think you'd ever sell your gold. I don't think it's going. Once we get to a free market, there's so much frenzy, as I showed you in Trading Places, right? When Eddie Murphy and they're selling their orange juice, and all these guys are frenzied into buying it. Well, that's what you're going to get once everybody realizes this is worthless. And once everybody realizes this is worthless, and in China and in Japan and in Russia, once they all realize it's worthless, their only option is gold. Why would gold go down? There's demand for gold. As long as you got demand, the supply is nothing. So as long as you have the demand, which you've always had, but it's been price fixed by JP Morgan, and they can't price fix it anymore because they don't have gold to take. It was always a non-physical market. It was comex. It was all communism. It was all price fixing. We're going to set the price of gold. And then the problem is BRICS saw what was going on and said, it's really cheap and it's gold. Let's buy it. So they keep buying it and we keep holding the price down. They go, well, fuck that. You want silver at $30 an ounce? I'll buy as much as you can. Same thing with gold. Now it's 30 and 90. Okay, let's buy it. Let's keep buying it because it should be about 10,000. And so now you have people buying physical, which is breaking up COMEX, because COMEX was always a scam. It was always a paper thing. Now it's a physical thing. So gold's just going to keep going up and up. Why would I sell it? There's no reason to sell the gold and silver. There's only a reason to buy it. Demand is strong, supply is weak. That's the perfect formula to buy. And that's why we keep buying, and that's why we don't sell it. Excuse me. So if I'm playing blackjack, I know the odds are against me, and if I get lucky and make a couple grand, I get the hell out. Like Titus, he made 18 grand. He shows us the tickets on football. That's when you take that money and you go buy gold and silver with it. I hope he did, and he would have made some nice money with it. And then you bet a little bit back, but you don't risk the 18 grand. You kind of keep betting because you know how good I am that you're going to still make money. And the reason I'm good at it is because I switch variables. I can see the variables and switch them. Oh, Jalen Daniels on Washington. Let's bet the shit out of them on the over every week and win every week because we discovered Jalen Daniels. And now Penix will do it with Atlanta. We'll do it with Bo Nix. And Caleb will bet against because he sucks. And we got Bryce Young, and we're going to bet against him. So the knowledge of how bad or good the quarterback is, we then switch it up, and we're always picking up the Calebs, and we're always picking up the Daniels and the Penix. This year, there's nobody to pick up. I don't know if I got to see if Dylan Gabriel is getting drafted. I thought he played 6 years already. He was a couple years at UCF. I know he played 2 years at Oklahoma, and I know he played at Oregon. And I thought I was under the impression he was done. That was his last year, so he should be in the draft. And I don't see anybody talking about him in the draft, so I'm wondering if he's draft eligible or not. But the point of this conversation is, why do I buy, and at what point do I sell and take profits? So in everything but gold, I just keep buying. There's no reason to sell. There's no point of sell. The demand's huge, and it's only going to get bigger once these dollars go out. Boom and boom, it'll drive everybody into gold, which will make the price go up. So there's no reason to get out. The Dow is now 37,300, down another $280 at 11 o'clock. So again, the Dow is getting hit. So my friends with the $500,000 401ks or the $4 million 401k, what's it worth now? I would expect the $4 million 401k is probably worth about $3 million. At what point do you start sweating? You're in the wrong area. You're in stocks which you shouldn't be in stocks. They're going down because of the tariffs that are going to raise costs on the other countries selling us the goods. And if we then buy American, there's no American to buy. Who are you going to buy? Nike sends everything to China. I'm sure New Balance. I'm sure all the shoe companies do. So what tennis shoes are you going to buy? There is no American brand because they were the ones who started all this by sending their goods for the cheap labor to China. That's what did it. Actually, Ford did it. And I was working there at the time. And they fired all their engineers, and then the engineers went to China, the plants went to China, and out they were snickering. Look at all the money we're saving. How's it working now, fellas? So because they sold it for cheap labor, there's nothing here. So now what do? We got tariffs, which is making the cheap labor more expensive, which they're going to raise their costs went up. They can't raise the price only because we might not accept it. They just, like I said, raised my dark chocolates, Lindt and Chevelle to from it was $250 to $350. Now they're $450 at Meijer's. I just did a shake my head. Bobby, you'd be proud of me. And I just said, no fucking way. I paid $450 for a candy bar. Well, it's a dark chocolate bar. So I go to Walmart and there's an off-brand Swiss 90. I buy that for $250. And that went up. That was $180 or $190. It went up to $250. But then I went to the grocery store the other day and I see these candy bars are now, or I should call them dark chocolate bars. They're not really candy as much. Go up, and all of a sudden it was buy one, get the second one half off. And I did the math, and I said, "No, that's still $350 a bar. I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous." So they can try to raise the prices, but if we say I'm not buying, what do? Put it on sale, which really is lowering the price down. So these companies don't realize you can't just raise prices. It's up to us. If we don't accept them, you're lowering your prices. And I use the Camry as the example always, where they raised it from $25,000 to $35,000, and the guy couldn't sell any, and he's back to $26,000. The market controls everything. So if I'm gambling and I get up and I know my odds are against me, I'm quitting a winner. Poker, I do it all the time. Nobody understands it, and I just laugh at them going, well, you're obviously an idiot. Real D, do you believe that America is going going get rid of the middle class families due to the recession? Well, I don't think so. Um, I'm a middle class family, maybe a little upper middle class. I mean, I make when I'm working like 110,000 as a senior financial analyst. Well, they need that. How are you going to get rid of me? You can't just not have anybody do budgets and forecast and month-end journal entries and all these critical analysis. So, you know, I hear this middle class thing and I just don't buy it. Um, this isn't like communist Russia where it's rich and poor. Even the poor are much better off than they used to be. I'll see some poor people and they're driving Cadillacs, and you're like, where you? You have no money, but you're driving a Cadillac. Um, I don't know. Everybody in government. You know how much these people in government, they make like 150,000. That's your middle class. But the other deceiving part is the money is worthless. So if the money's worthless, then that's why there's billionaires. If you notice back in the 80s, you'd have a few millionaires. You never had a billionaire. So as the money becomes worth less and less and less, now they're billionaires. I don't buy this class warfare stuff. In my mind, people are, how do they, it's like gambling, right? How do they know when to get out of Bitcoin? Do they know when to dump their Apple stock? Do they know to buy gold and silver? So I think it's all individual. So I think you could be upper middle class owning these stocks if you sell them. If you don't sell them, you're not going to be middle class. But I don't know, getting rid of the middle. I never understood that. People make what they make based on their skill set. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're in finance, you're a CPA, you're a technician in medical, you make more money. So if you make 100 grand, I guess that's middle class. I don't know. I don't really care. All I care about is the professor. Let me pick my football games. Let me buy my gold and silver, get out of my way. I can afford a place to live and I can eat. So I don't know what I am. I don't really, so I never really look at it. I don't know the incentive of getting rid of the middle class. So you just want poor people or you just want rich people? Why? What's the benefit of that? I don't care if the guy next to me makes $1 million or $500. Don't care. Why is that my concern? My concern is Howard, not them. But I'm stoic. I get that. So I don't know. How exactly would you get rid of the middle class? You kill all the jobs, you kill all the rich, because the rich are the ones that put the money into McDonald's or into Baskin Robbins. They invest in them. And if they all go under, the rich are the ones that get hurt. The Zuckerbergs and these guys are just phonies. Because their stock's so expensive because the government puts the money into the stock. They're not rich. They're just because their stocks have a big value. Well, Zuckerberg's in bed with the CIA. He basically sells all their information to them and to China. That's what Zuckerberg does. It's a great business model. Well, I'm not going to charge, and all I'm going to do is really sell everybody's information. And but if his stock crashes, as it will, he won't be worth anything. So I don't know. Warren Buffett, all these rich guys, if they're not into gold and silver, when the dollar collapses, they'll all be poor. The only rich people will be us who have gold and silver. We'll be the rich people. So does that get rid of the middle class? I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't really. I don't think America can get rid of it due to the recession. The recession, well, we're in a depression, not a recession, but whatever, it's just a lot of people losing their jobs, living on unemployment. If you're older, you get Social Security. If you have your money saved in your stocks, that's going to be the killer, not the recession. Is when the stock's down to 37,000 today. It was 45. Now it's 37. In about a week, it'll be 30. That's where people are going to lose their money. And in Bitcoin, I got it, it's 105, and now it's 75. And when it hits 55, now what are you going to do? Well, it'll go up. It'll keep going up because Michael Saylor says it will, and I trust him because I have no idea. I don't know who he is or why he's doing it, but he's obviously Madoff. He's obviously Ponzi scheming everybody. But you know what? It keeps going up, so I'll buy it. I can't believe a girl is telling me I buy Bitcoin because it keeps going up. Do you know why it keeps going up? No. Okay. Good luck to you. So I don't know. I just think if people would just dump their stocks for gold, get out of the banking and gold and silver, we'd all be in the upper middle class, or depending on how much you can buy, the upper class. And you can't lose in it because it can't go down. But nobody wants to listen. I know I ask and I ask and I ask, and nobody wants to listen. So, okay. And then when you go broke, I always say, when you go broke, don't come to me asking me for gold. I'm telling you to buy it now. You don't want to listen. Don't come to me and say, Howard, can I have a couple ounces? Because Howard ain't giving up a couple ounces. You didn't listen to me. You sleep in your own bed. I gave you many warnings to get out of your stocks into gold. You don't want to listen. Okay, fine. All right. So that is your finance lesson. The Dow is 37.3 down to 83. Let's check gold, and then let's going to get into baseball. Gold is that. Hopefully it didn't get hurt too much. 30.67. So it's going through a noon little drop, which is expected because the U.S. has the ball right now. But I would think it's, I don't think it's going down too much more, and then it'll start going up. Silver 30 and a quarter. So all you silver people thinking that we'll do a silver squeeze to get the money up, that ain't gonna happen. I was looking at some games yesterday. Scanes did lose. We did hit the under in the Seattle game. I think that was my 5-star. Detroit beat the Yankees again. I don't understand Detroit. Hey, Pat, that bubble was bursting. All the bubbles are bursting, and the gold's back up $100 today. I'm so happy. I just saw it was 30.67. So it got up to 30.80. So it was up $100, and so I think it's settling. It'll get back to 3,100. But right now, this is how stupid it is. The U.S. has the ball in comex because it's our time. And they're trying. I don't know why they keep trying to short it, because they got to come up with the physical, because the other side will take delivery. As I showed you, once there's got to be a buyer. So when Eddie Murphy says selling, there has to be buyers or they can't do it. So a lot of buyers on gold. JP Morgan wants to keep selling, and they buy and they want to take delivery. I don't get the why. What are they doing? They want to take the delivery of it. Gold going parabolic. Now, well, it's just about. The stock market's down some more. It's at 37,000. When the light goes on and people realize to get out of their stocks, get out of the bank, I don't know. But they keep pushing Bitcoins down to 75,000, headed for 50, headed for 25. But people will still own it because they think it's going to 1 million because Michael Saylor said so. All right, we got a 12:30 game. Wow, who wants to go to a game in Pittsburgh? St. Louis, Pittsburgh. St. Louis, 115, 7.5. Gold's going to go parallel. Silver will not move until it's Basel III, because they're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and they don't have to deliver. So they just keep adding to I owe you 30,000 tons owed. And it just keeps going up and up and up. But since they don't have to cover, they just keep doing it. All right. St. Louis, Pitt. St. Louis won yesterday. Skanes actually lost. St. Louis won 15-7.5. I always find it interesting when the other team beats the ace, what happens? Does St. Louis win this game because they beat Skanes? Probably. Eric Feedy, 1-1, 7-0 for St. Louis. Mitch Keller, 1-1, 7-4. Okay. And the over-under is 7.5. We're going over. This is an easy over, 7.5. Pitt, St. Louis. You've got two weak pitchers. How are they going to keep the runs down? I mean, Jesus. And I know most major league players are minor leaguers. It's terrible. The league is really bad. Miami and the METS, Mets. The Mets are minus 220 and 7. Max Mayer for Miami, 0-1 with a 309 against Tyler McGill, 2-0 with a .87. I'm going to Mets, 220. Not sure of the hitting yet. This probably isn't under, but right now we'll take the Mets with this Tyler McGill with a .87 ERA. Who knows who he pitched, how good he is. That'll get straightened out after about 10 games of him pitching. Then we'll see what his real ERA is. The Yanks and the Tigers. The Yanks minus 155 and 7. You got Max Fried 1-0 at the 261. Jack Flaherty 1-0, the 238. I'm going to go under 7 here. The Tigers, I don't know. They have absolutely no hitting, and they have one pitcher. They got a coach who cheats and lies. I was thinking about that this morning. He's the manager of Houston, right? And they win the title, and they're banging garbage cans, because it's a curveball or something. So everybody knows what they're up against. And he walks away like, well, it was the players that did this and the players did that. I didn't even know about it. Bullshit. You watch the way he manages Detroit, and he knows exactly what's going on. There's not like he doesn't know what's going on here. So he's just a fucking liar, and I hate that. So he cheated, and then he lied about it. And now he's the Tiger manager. Is this what you want as your manager? No. You should be stoic. You should be honorable and tell the truth. I was talking with Alyssa, and I'd given her a quarter ounce years ago. It was like $3.50 an ounce. Or the coin was worth $3.50. And I said, "Oh, you still haven't?" She'd go, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, it's worth $700 now. Now it's worth $800. Now it's worth $900." And so finally, the other day, she tells me, I really sold the coin. I had to pay bills years ago. And I said to her, "Are you upset? I didn't want to make you mad that you gave it to me and you told me not to sell it." And I told her, "No," I said, "if you're honest, that's fine. You needed the money. Fine. That's what it was an asset. What I don't like is that you lied to me. And the moral of the story is you can't trust a liar." So that's what the Tiger manager is. So you lied to me, hurt me more than you selling it. But you telling me the truth now oversees that lie. Okay, you didn't want me mad. That's not a good reason to lie. And that's what she does a lot. And I'm trying to fix her up with stoic and say, look, it's okay. Just tell the truth. You've got to tell the truth at all costs. You can't lie about it. So that's why when you have a manager like this lying about it, are you telling the truth now or what? And I don't know how anybody can play for the guy. He's just a liar. And he's a cheat. So anyway, why do you think he got fired? Because they knew he was behind it, and then he lied about it. So looked for Detroit to be in trouble. But anyway, Fried against Flaherty. Flaherty, I don't know. Often injured Max Fried. I think it was on Atlanta last year, but he's 1-0 at the 261. Detroit's got a big ballpark. Let's go under 7 here. Texas against the Cubbies. The Cubbies 165, 7.5. Tyler Mayo 1-0 with the 135 against Shote Managanga for the Cubbies, 2-0 with the .98. So you got two stud pitchers. We're going under 7.5 in Texas and the Cubbies. If you got two aces going, you bet it under. You don't try to bet one of the aces. San Diego and Oakland. Oakland minus 120 and 10. A lot of runs. Randy Vasquez 0-1 with the 169, and Oswald Cobblepot 1-0 with the 2-7 for Oakland. Why is the total 10? You got a 169 pitcher and a 270 pitcher at Oakland. I'm going. This is a 5-star. This is my 5-star today. San Diego, Oakland under 10. This is ridiculous. I mean, I got a 169 and a 270 and a 10. This should be a 7.5. 10 or 5-star Oakland, San Diego under. Baltimore, Arizona. Arizona 125-9. Dean Kremer 1-1 with the 6.52. Braden Fat 1-1 with the 2.525. 5.25. Here the over under 9 makes sense. I'm going over Baltimore, Arizona. Cincinnati and the 49ers. 49ers minus 157.5. Nick Martinez for Cincy. 0-2, 5.90. Justin Verlander, 0-0 with a 6.14. I don't know. He gave up 100 runs the first game. Let's hope he got better. I had Cincinnati yesterday with Lododo, and he won 1-0, though they're not scoring. I'm going to total of 7.5. I'm going to go over. Well, I don't know. Verlander will probably shut him out. I'm sure Verlander's pissed losing the first game. So I look for a good performance out of him. Yeah, I think I take the 49ers here. Prophet, good morning. Well, I got a appointment at noon, so I'm going to leave about 11:35. So I got another 15, 20 minutes. I'll probably come back to review the stock market, and then from there I will probably go right to the pool after my meeting. It's close to the pool. So let's go Verlander. The Dodgers in Washington. The Dodgers have been losing. They're now 9-4. They're not the greatest team since sliced spread. Washington beat them pretty good late yesterday. Dodgers minus 180-9. Landon Knack 1-0 with an 0-0 against Jake Irvin. 0-0 with the 5-4-0. So let's go with the Dodgers today against the weak Jake Irvin. Houston, Seattle, I had them under yesterday. It was 2-1. That was my 5-star. Here we go. We got Houston 137.5. I'm noticing a lot of 7.5s today. Hunter Brown 1-0 with the 3 against Louis Castillos 0-0 with a 9. Seattle cannot hit. They have the worst bat. Their lineup's worse than the Tigers. So I'm gonna take Hunter Brown here. 1-1 with a 3-0. He was pretty good last year. Minus 130. Yeah, I guess we can take Houston. Probably an under game. But Castillo's got a 9 ERA. Houston could score some runs here. Chicago and Cleveland. We've got Cleveland minus 197.5. Sean Burke 1-1 with the 5.23. Logan Allen 0-1 with the 6.75. You got to go over because these pitchers suck. And a 7.5. So we'll go over here. Toronto and Boston. Boston minus 138.5. Kevin Gausman 1-1 with the 3.97. Tanner Houck 0-1 with the 6.52. At Fenway Park, let's go over 8.5 here. California against Tampa. Tampa 145-8 at Tampa. UC Kikuchi 0-1 with the 4.50 against Ryan Peapot. 0-1 with the 2.45. I don't know enough about the teams to go over or under, and I'm not betting a guy. Well, 2.45 ERA. Yeah, I guess we could take Tampa here. Philly and Atlanta. This game was very high scoring yesterday. Atlanta minus 148.5. Taiwan Walker 1-0 with an 0 against Grant Holmes 0-1 7-2. Atlanta's minus 140. I love Philadelphia then. You got Taiwan Walker, pretty good pitcher. Holmes sucks. 0-1 with the 7.20. Granted, it's early, but they're minus 140. Hey, I have Philly plus 130. Yeah, I'll take Philly. Thank you very much. Minnesota, KC, two terrible teams. Minnesota minus 110. Joe Ryan 0-1 with the 4.50 against Seth Lugo. 1-0, 3.27. Let's go Kansas City. Seth Lugo. And Milwaukee against Colorado. Milwaukee minus 140, 10.5. Tyler Alexander 1-0 with a 2.0 ERA against Antonio Senzata. 0-1 with an 0.00 ERA. And boy, it's tough to go under in a Colorado game. So I'm just going to leave that on. I'll take Milwaukee 1-0 with the 2. All right, so the 5-star game is, let's see, San Diego, Oakland, under 10, 5-star. And otherwise, you got the picks. Let's go back into the market and gold. The market at this point says, let's refresh. All right, so the market's up 37.7, up $100, which is nothing. And they show these stocks, some of the big ones. So Tesla is up $10 to 230. Nvidia is at 99. Apple up is at 179. Google 145. Amazon 172. Meta's at 511. Why is Meta 511? Meta's not worth 511. So that's what you have there. These, this is where you've got people not being able to think for themselves. Oh, I see Apple's going up, I'll buy that. I see Mega going up, I'll buy that. I see this going up, I'll buy it. People don't have any understanding of why they're buying anything. They're buying it because it's up. I'll follow the crowd. Surest way to lose everything. And there goes your middle class, real G. 11.26. We got gold 30.84, higher than we started, up $103. So it had the little pullback you see the pullback at about 8 o'clock to about 9. It went from 30.63 to 30.45, but then it quickly recovers and goes back to 30.75, goes up to 30.80. When we start the class, you can see it dropped to 30.73 and now back to 30.84. So the 8 o'clock quickly got corrected, and this, what is it, about 10:30 quickly got corrected as we're coming to noon, 30.84. Once we get to about, usually by 1 o'clock, you're out of all this bullshit. Usually it happens at 10 o'clock or noon. So we keep our fingers crossed at noon, but it seems to be rebounding nicely. The market's up, so there's no margin calls being done. So we're back at 30.84, and I think this is the beginning of the 3,500 move. Again, we don't sell gold because there's no reason. We sell stocks because there's plenty of reasons. We get out of the bank because we know the dollar's not worth anything. And again, COMEX is price set. Silver 30.42. Why? Because it's price fixed. Because that's where JP Morgan wants the price. Gold is the least reacting more to the market because of all the BRICS countries buying gold. Then they don't care that they're trying to price fix it. They can't price fix it. Once the physical enters, the price fixing's over. The physical's there in silver, and the price fixing's ending, but it's still there. So you got to be careful with it. So that's where we're at with it right now. The look for gold now that it's rolling to get by the end of the week, maybe 3,200 if the stock market settled down. It was all margin call, and you can see how quickly China and Russia bought the physical on COMEX very quickly. Anyway, that's what's going on. We covered baseball. I can give you another till 11:35. It's 11:28. Anything else? Real D, Pat. I know Pat just wants the economics. The debt bubble's bursting. We know that the debt we can't pay it off. We got 37 trillion. That's really the key, Pat and Profit and everybody, is you can't pay the debt off. And if I got into it, I could pay my debt off with these two cards, right? I have a real asset that can't be fucked with. It just needs to be graded. The higher the grade, the more limited, because there's no tens. There's a few nines. Most of these cards are in 4 and 5 shape. These are both mint. So therefore, I can use real assets to pay my debt off. I can't. The problem with the government is they don't have any assets. They don't have any gold and silver. That's why you don't hear about the auditing Fort Knox anymore, because there's no gold there. So what are they gonna? How can they audit it? What are they gonna see? Wow, well, we don't have anything. Or oh wait, this is all China's gold. So they can't audit it because there's nothing there to audit. The guy from Die Hard 3's got it all. Do you have a job interview today? No, I don't. No. I do want to get with my school on running seminars of class like I do here. I'm hoping for more viewers and I haven't made a nickel on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck you got to do for that. Probably I can do better with football because everybody wants to come for the picks. We're talking in economics, and a lot of people just don't understand it, and they just follow the crowd. Oh, everybody's buying Bitcoin. I guess I'll buy it, even though it's not real. But no job interview. I got to do my unemployment today. I had to wait till the second quarter because I did have earnings fourth quarter, first quarter, and in Michigan, I know each state's different. There's a $90 a week increase for the first time in 40 years. And so I will get more money each week, which will buy me more gold and silver. This is why I don't really want to go into my gold. That's why I keep some money out. So I keep money in the safe. So if I need to pay credit cards or whatever, I have money for it. And that's the key to it. So that's where I'm at with it. I want to take care of that. But if I get more in unemployment, like Social Security pays rent and food and utilities, and I help Daria a little bit and pay some credit cards with it. And then the rest, a little bit more food, a couple other credit cards, then I go to my safe and cover the difference. And the longer I can go to the safe means I don't have to sell any gold and silver, or I don't have to sell mantle and maize here to get money. And the longer I can go without selling the gold is better, because as the gold goes up, when it hits 5,000 and I still have my ounces of gold, if I sell an ounce or two, that's an ounce or two less I have when it goes to 5 and when it goes to 10. I want to keep the group together. I don't want to sell any of it until we're in the 30, 40,000 an ounce club. And to answer Real D's question, that keeps me in the middle class or whatever. This isn't India. We're not the caste system, but it'll keep me fine. And as long as I keep food on the table and I can pay rent, that's all I care about. Most of my credit cards are buying gold. So I would buy gold with it because I was scared gold was going to run up, and it did. I bought a lot with 17, 18,000, but I thought it would run much faster. And then, so now if I have gold as my credit card's gold, I can then trade in an ounce or two of gold and pay off the credit card. Because now I bought it at 17 and now we're at 30.86. We're moving up nice. So as it moved, now I can sell one for 30.86 that I bought for 1,700. But again, we do not profit take gold. We sell it if we need to pay bills, or you want to go on a trip to Hawaii. You want that, you sell your gold to use exactly for that. That's it. You do not profit take gold because then you get back on the Titanic. So if I sell my gold to get back here, now what do? I'm in something that's worthless. So I took something that has a value. It's like this. If I sold the Mantle card, yeah, I get 80 grand for it. What am I going to do with the money? It's a monopoly money. I'd rather hold it like this. At least it has value. When gold becomes the currency, I can get a little bit of gold for this, but I'm not getting a little bit of gold for this. The guy, would you give gold for this? I wouldn't. Same thing with your Canadian dollar. Same thing with the euro. I wouldn't give gold for this. This is worthless. Anyway, you hear Jeremy Irons just bought Vietnam. Well, he probably could. Now, which Jeremy Irons? The one from Die Hard 3 or the one from Margin Call? I like how versatile he is. And I was surprised he was in Time Machine. He played the weird guy that he didn't have gold already around him. I would have thought a guy like Jeremy Irons, 800 million years into the future, would have had gold, a little bank there. He should have known better. The Die Hard 3. Well, he did the Margin Call also. It was Margin Call, I think. The music has stopped. Quote him. It's been stopped for a while in dollars, in debt, but the music's just starting in gold. If we can quote the music in gold, it's just starting. And that's what you got to know about it. Anyway, I gave you my baseball. I gave you my gold. No videos. I showed you Eddie Murphy and in Trading Places. I can show you that again later or tomorrow. What we're banking on is the frenzy. Selling orange juice futures at 142 and everybody buy. 1,000 people buy. And that's what's going to happen in gold. Everybody's going to run. Oh, shit, the dollar's worthless. You got these morons. Why are you buying gold? Well, because it's going up in price. And again, at what point do you sell your fake Bitcoin? And at what point do you sell your stocks that are now down to 37,000, headed for 27,000? At what point do you realize you're fucked? Most people are too stupid to realize that. Well, it'll go back up. Well, why do you think it's going down? In other words, why do you think gold's going up? So why would you think it would go back down? And why do you think the stock market's going down? And why do you think it would go back up? It's not business as usual. It's these tariffs. They're not going away. You're fucked. The costs gone up. The costs go up, slow the economy. We're in a depression. Why would the stock market go up in a depression? No, it doesn't work like that. The Japanese stock market fell in like 1988 or 89 from like 40 to like 5 or 10. It hasn't recovered yet. It never will recover because they have massive inflation in Japan. Are you going to be back on later today? Yeah, probably. What I'll do is I'll go swim after the appointment because it's close to the pool. And I'll shoot for like 4:30, I think. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I want to eat my omelet because I want my eggs. There's a picture. I got like 1 minute of our doctor. See here, Basel 3 firing up silver. Let's see, there was a picture of our doctor. Anyway, she's real fat before. Now she's real thin. The doctor I always show you, the lady from Australia. And she said, all I did was eat eggs for 30 days. And she went from big, huge to skinny. I look at these people at the pool yesterday, and they're all fat, and they're all in this class, and they're all like these older ladies. And I turned around to one of my lifeguard buddies, and I says, all they got to do is fast. All they got to do is fast and stop eating sugar. They don't need this workout class. I mean, if they're trying to lose weight and they're all fat, you're like, Jesus, what a bunch of idiots. These are the people that won't buy gold. They stay in the stock market. They stay in Bitcoin because it goes up. All right, I'm going to end it with that. www.teaserking.com. You want to email me? Again, the big pick today, I don't remember, was Oakland. I think Oakland under or over, whatever. I think it was Oakland under. I don't know. Just listen. I've only been on an hour. Anyway, no internet issues today. I'm happy for that. So have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. If you're betting your baseball, keep an eye on stocks, keep an eye on gold, keep an eye on Bitcoin. By the way, is not real. I love this analogy. I can see this. I can touch it. It's pretty to look at. Bitcoin, I can't see it. I can't touch it. If I had $80,000, wouldn't I rather buy this than Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's going to go up. Oh, and Mantl's not? Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Got to get out of here. I'll shoot to be on about 4:30. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy, relax. Okay.